I'm going to talk to you about a Republican governor, Brad Little. I keep thinking of Chicken Little of Idaho. He is this guy. I don't even understand it. Now, I have connections to a very small town in Idaho, and nobody's paying attention to the Idaho standards up there because everybody's just working and doing what they have to do, and they all use common sense. They're farmers, for the love of Pete. There's been 51 deaths in Idaho. Now, that's from COVID-19, 51 deaths. That's 0.002% of the population. Every year, they have 250 people die from drugs and 417 people die from suicide. I can guarantee you there will be more suicides in Idaho because of these measures than there will be COVID deaths in Idaho. It's on full lockdown like the Democratic states. He's not. He's supposedly going to be announcing something today. Just a couple of days ago, he said that they're going to be opening up all non-essential businesses, but there's businesses that are opening up right now going, screw you, man. There's no problem here. How come you can have the city golf courses open and where you're making money, but I can't do that? There was a family that is now facing prison time for holding a yard sale outside of their home, out in the open air, with no large crowds. They were arrested and they're facing prison time. Somebody else that you might have seen yesterday went viral. A woman, a mom in Idaho, took her kids to the park. She was arrested. Her name is Sara Brady. She's facing possibly up to 6 months in jail. Sara, welcome to the program. We're glad you're here.
Thank you, Glenn. Happy to be here.
So, Sara, I want to start. I want to start right off the bat because I saw your video yesterday and I was horrified by it. And then I saw some additional stuff where the cop was really trying to be cool. I mean, he's like, look, guys, you got to talk to the mayor about this. I can't help you. It's closed. The city has a right to close the parks. They close them every night. So where do you stand on this? Because the cop really wasn't trying to be a bad guy. And I understand that it's stupid to say your kids can't play in the park, but where do you balance this?
Well, so there was actually 3 officers there, and there in the park area where I was arrested, there was 2. And the gentleman that didn't have a hat on, I actually felt like was pretty reasonable. The person that the escalation occurred with, I actually felt like was much, much less reasonable. And I can completely see the frustration of being in the middle of citizens who are upset about a park being closed and then feeling like you have the pressure from the mayor or the governor that you have to, enforce orders.
And I want to make this clear, too. You're not anti-police or trying to make them look bad. You are married to a police officer.
I am not anti-police at all. I love law enforcement. I mean, obviously, I'm married to one, but I also, I don't like to see government overreach. And it is frustrating to see police officers being put in this position that they're having to enforce what I feel to be unconstitutional orders.
So did you call the mayor or anybody prior to this? Have there been efforts to get the mayor and to get the governor to stop this?
There have been efforts. I personally haven't called the Meridian mayor. There have been efforts to, there was a rally last Friday with a bunch of Idahoans at the state capitol. I attended. My understanding is there's been a protest at the governor's house. I did not participate in that. So there's a lot of Idahoans that are very upset about what's going on. A lot of Idahoans that are upset that some people are considered essential, other people are not. And I mean, quite frankly, I think anybody that's trying to provide for their livelihood is essential.
Oh, I 100% agree. And if there is a state that could be opened, I mean, there's a few of them. Texas, we've only had 17 deaths, and we're an enormous state. You are, Idaho is one of those states as well. You have more than Texas does, but still, it's not New York City. And I don't understand. And this is a Republican governor. I don't understand why these governors in places like Idaho feel like they need to treat everyone in the state like a child.
Well, it's interesting because I think people should have the ability to make choices for themselves, right? I mean, every day we take risks, right? If you get in a car, you're taking a risk. I think Idahoans are smart enough to know what risks they want to take for their family, quite frankly.
When you went to the park, this was a planned protest. I mean, there's a post. I don't know if you posted it. There are a bunch of us taking our kids to the park in Meridian today at 3 p.m. Tear the tape off the playground. Anyone can join us. Kids, no kids. Let's take a stand. So this was you. I mean, you knew that there was going to be a confrontation of sorts, right?
So yes, and let me tell you actually what happened. So there was actually,
Okay.
from what I remember, two different events, and I was involved in both. I did not make that comment saying, "Hey, come to the park." I did not make that comment, and let's tear down the tape. I didn't. I was on the fence about going. I mean, quite frankly, my kids have been cooped up in the house for over a month now. I have a special needs child. They've been asking to go to the park. They want to know when things are going to return to normal. And so I was on the fence. I honestly was like, oh, you know what? I don't know if I want to go down there. My concern was this, honestly, are people going to be, acting inappropriately? Are they going to be vandalizing things? That was my concern. So I was kind of on the fence. And, I have friends messaging me, are you going to go? I'm like, I don't know. I'm not sure. So that day, I'd kind of forgotten about it a little bit. Like, it just wasn't high on my priority list. And I sat down on my couch to catch up on social media, and up popped a video. A friend was like, hey, we're at the park, and I see all my friends there with their kids. And they said, oh, the tape's down. I was like, oh, and this park is so close to my house. So I thought, it's literally, this is like, I think the event time was 3 and 3:45. And I'm like, yeah, if nobody's come now to, break up people, playing at the park, I'm probably safe to go down there and hang out with my kids. And so that's literally, I was like, yeah, I'm going to go down to the park with my kids.
Hmm. If the city would have said to you as mothers, hey, listen, the virus lives on plastic for, 72 hours or whatever, and there's plastic on the playground, we recommend that, you just take some Clorox wipes and you wipe them down or whatever, because I got news for you. It's on the shopping carts and every place else when you're going out to buy groceries. That's reasonable, isn't it? Would you have brought Clorox wipes to wipe everything down if that was their objection? And I mean, it's supposed to die in the sunlight, and it was a very sunny day yesterday, so it didn't matter if you had Clorox or not. But
I mean, absolutely. If that would have been the requirement, please wipe down the equipment or, try to keep it clean. I wouldn't have had a problem with that.
So the governor is supposed to talk about reopening the state today. What are you expecting?
Well, quite frankly, I didn't expect all of this. So this is what I'm hoping. I am hoping that he does what Idahoans want him to do, is reopen our economy, reopen the parks. Let's get back to normal, because we can't do this forever. And why do you? I don't think. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead, please.
I was going to say, I don't think protecting people and then wanting to open the economy have to be exclusive to each other. Like, I think that we can have both. there's always going to be vulnerable people in our population, right? Then there's going to be another virus, right? I mean, viruses exist everywhere. But we also need Idahoans to get back to work. I mean, I have friends who are being laid off. People not being able to provide for their families, and it's a scary time to think, how am I going to put food on the table? So, I mean, I think it's reasonable to reopen the economy and reopen things, and people can take precautions. Businesses can choose to take precautions.
You were bailed out yesterday. You were bailed out yesterday. What do you think is going to come of your case?
So it was actually the day before yesterday, but
Okay.
yes, I bailed out. I don't know. I would hope that they would drop the charges, because how can someone like me be considered a criminal because I just wanted to take my kids to the park? I don't understand that. I mean, like, that's not the America I know or want to pass on to my children. But time will tell. I'm not going to plead guilty.
What were you charged with?
I was charged with trespassing.
6 months in jail and $1,000 fine. You say
Yeah.
This isn't the America that you know. It's shocking when things like this are happening in Idaho. Thank you so much. Sir, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I don't understand how we can let criminals and pedophiles out of jail, and I'm getting in trouble for being at parks. But